We're still here. Oh, I mean, just not other people's schedules, but if it were up to me, I wouldn't be going to class.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it is theoretically up to me, as I am here, but you get what I'm saying. I have to go to class. I would love just to work on this. I would love to do podcasts, pregame shows. I'd love to just be able to work on that instead of having to worry about my statistics homework.
Welcome to the Spinnin Sports Podcast, episode 3 of season 2. Landon Bethea, as always. My name is Grayson Singleton, and our first episode this season, we talked about Tim Tebow getting cut. And in a similar fashion, we are going to lead off today talking about another guy who got cut, and his name is Cam Newton, the former NFL MVP from 2015, got the boot from the Patriots. So, Landon, as the Patriots fan and as somebody who basically follows the Patriots probably as close as anybody can, the floor is yours, my man.
I appreciate that. I just want to know why. That's all I want to know. I want to know why we cut Cam Newton. I'm reading that there were COVID, there were complications with his time off because of COVID. Maybe he didn't want to get the vaccine. I don't know. But as far as from a football player standpoint and how he plays football, I would like to know, genuinely, this is me reaching out. Bill Belichick could get a hold of this. Probably not.
Probably not.
But this is me asking everyone, why cut Cam Newton, who we just went through the effort of re-signing, rebuilding his mentality, his confidence, and out of nowhere, cut him. Not even said, yeah, you're going to be the backup quarterback. You just cut him.
Yeah.
You just cut him. And I would like to know why. That's all I can really say right now is why.
This is the most confused I've ever seen you look.
Well, it's just like, I don't understand any of it.
I don't either. And when we were going through our pre-show notes and stuff, we were talking about other guys across the league that got cut, like Colin Johnson got waived by the Jaguars, Travis Fulgham, the Eagles' leading receiver from a year ago, he got released, and there's just a bunch of guys that are getting released or waived or whatever. It's just like, how? And why? I mean, the Eagles of all teams are in no position to release wide receivers. I mean, because they all get hurt eventually.
Yeah, I don't. Let's just cut everyone. Let's just cut everyone.
You know what I want to happen? I want Cam Newton to get signed by the Jets, and then maybe Zach Wilson becomes a bust like you thought he would be, and then Cam Newton just steps in and then beats the Patriots twice. That's what I want to happen. But I tweeted this out earlier today, and we're recording on Tuesday. But I tweeted out that Cam's unwillingness to be vaccinated, like what you said, probably has something to do with that because we all know the protocols for NFL in terms of if you get caught in contact tracing or if you test positive and what the requisite quarantine periods are, and it's very different from vaccinated to unvaccinated players. And the best ability, as we know, is availability. So I can see why that would lead to him not being the starter because from a week-to-week basis, you never know if he'll get caught in a contact tracing that all of a sudden you're out for an entire week just because he's not vaccinated. And we talked about this a lot in terms of players that were on the bubble to make rosters.
Yeah.
Except the only problem was that we knew Cam Newton may not be the starter. We didn't know he was a bubble player in terms of he may not be on the football team.
A little side note. I like when you were talking about how you would like to see him go to the Jets, beat the Patriots twice. I would not like to see the Jets beat the Patriots twice. However, that being said, I would love to see Cam Newton go elsewhere. I'm hoping that he does have the opportunity to go elsewhere because there are some situations around the league.
So what I was really looking for was not the names of Cam Newton's kids, but news that might tie him to any other teams. And this from Sean Gables at CBS 46. Reports are coming out that the Cowboys are exploring Cam Newton as a backup.
That's gonna be so funny. That's gonna be so funny.
That would be the greatest thing on planet Earth. But here's why this makes a lot of sense, because yesterday the Cowboys cut not just Ben DiNucci, but they also cut Garrett Gilbert as well, which leaves Cooper Rush as the only other quarterback not named Dak Prescott on that roster. And Dak Prescott has a chronic shoulder problem, as it seems right now. So
I've had so many Cowboy fans, especially where we live.
Yeah, where we live
back
in
at home,
Dallas,
and even up here, Cowboy fans are super prevalent, unfortunately. Sorry, Cowboys fans. But that being said, I have heard so much about Cam Newton. I mean, they let me hear about him, how bad he is, how bad he performed, how he's washed, So Cowboy fans, if you get Cam Newton, just be ready for it. I'm gonna be letting you hear it.
Let's talk about this right quick before we get to Oklahoma State. So over the weekend and into early this week, I don't know where you get your news from. I first heard of this from Instagram, then I had to look deeper in this. Bishop Sycamore is a high school in Ohio that played a marquee ESPN nationally televised game against IMG Academy, one of the more noteworthy athletic schools in the country. They got shellacked 58-0, and now ESPN and Paragon, the company that works to schedule these games, the high school games for ESPN, is under fire for not doing their due diligence. And basically what we have is so many clips of just a school with like a weird coach, guys sharing helmets, God knows what else is going on.
Right.
Made its way on to ESPN.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's going on in the world to where we have a fake high school on ESPN?
I don't know what's going on this week because we're cutting Cam Newton, and then there's these fake schools that somehow are playing matchups on ESPN
against IMG. By the way, they are set to also play Duncanville High School in Texas.
That game can't happen. That game cannot happen. But I just want to know how do you get to that level of a game and being a fake high school? Does anyone do their job anymore? Is anyone doing anything to make sure that
I don't understand this.
Do you just want to go create a high school and we can go play IMG?
I mean, I guess. I mean, we'd probably get mollywopped, but I mean,
58-0. It's hard to do much worse than that, to be honest with you.
I mean, right. But Bishop Sycamore, this isn't the first time they've been on the scene because they played 6 games last year. Granted, they went 0-6, and they've been outscored 342-49 since its program started in 2020, which is also weird to start a program in the middle of a pandemic. So, how did this get off the ground? And it's not listed as a charter school by the Ohio Department of Education.
What is this? What is going on?
How?
Yeah, no, I'm at a loss for words as well. So basically what we learned from this is that somehow you can do whatever you want to do if you just manipulate the system. And I think that's what we just learned.
I mean, we do teach kids that you can do anything if you put your mind to it.
That's true. But that's what I just don't understand. It's just such it really is aggravating, to be honest with you, because now it's almost a mockery of everything.
It really is.
So I don't know. I'm not a fan of the topic because, and it's been dominating my Instagram feed for the last couple days, as it should, because this is ridiculous. I can't tell you how confused I was when I first read it, and I was just like, no, this has to be fake, because there's no possible way that a fake high school would get a game on ESPN, let alone any game on ESPN, but a game against probably, and you said it, I would say this is probably the most
noteworthy athletic high school.
I would say that IMG is probably the most prominent athletic high school in the country in how you create a game with 0-6 first off.
Forget being on ESPN, but you scheduled with IMG. By the way, what's also fishy is that they played this game against IMG 2 days after playing a football game against somebody else, in which the coach admitted that 15 guys played in both games that were separated by 48 hours. And then they're going to go play another prominent school, Duncanville.
There's no way that goes through. Duncanville is very prominent. The one thing I will say about Bishop Sycamore is that name was chosen very well, because you hear Bishop, you think Bishop Gorman.
Yeah.
You think
there's bishops everywhere.
I know, and typically there's a
anything
stigma
with
around that name.
Anything with a Catholic name would probably get you some sort of legitimacy.
And there's a little bit, there's a stigma around the name Bishop, and there's just this mentality that the Bishop Sycamore sounds like a good football team, to be honest with you. It just sounds right, so it sounds natural. So kudos to them for
picking that name.
Yeah, I mean, and kudos to, you really got to tip your hat to these guys for being able to pull this off. To be honest with you, it's a little frustrating, but at the end of the day, those guys somehow pulled it off. So, good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Good for the coach, Roy Johnson, who in an interview with the Dispatch said, quote, we want to do better, and that his program is young and growing.
Well, it's hard to be.
I don't know how
not
much
young.
better you can do in terms of fleecing an entire media giant.
Of course they're young just because they're fake. So
It's like they don't exist.
right, it's hard to be young.
Do better at what? Pulling off grand larceny, because you definitely got a bunch of money from this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they.
I mean, I'd say
don't know.
mission accomplished, and just call the thing done.
I agree. I think you just. I don't know.
I mean,
What legal trouble is it?
I was about to say, somebody's getting fired at ESPN and at Paragon. And on the other side that has pertained to Bishop Sycamore, somebody's might be going to jail.
Yeah, I don't understand how no one's going to get in any trouble for this. So someone's going to get in trouble.
Somebody really should just go to jail for negligence here. And just blatant stupidity.
ESPN.
I mean, something's going on here. Real quickly, and we've got a couple minutes before we've got to run out of here. So, according to Bleacher Report and Yahoo Sports, the Miami Dolphins are rumored to be front runners to trade for disgruntled quarterback Deshaun Watson out of Houston. Now, teams that have talked to Houston about possibly acquiring the top 5 quarterback are seeking pick protection in case the legal problems against Deshaun Watson go against him and he has to be suspended. So, Landon, real quickly, what if Deshaun Watson ends up being on the move to Miami? What does this do to the AFC East?
It makes it one of, if not the hardest division in football. And the NFC West is going to retain that title this year, most likely. But then you have the Dolphins, who are one game away from a playoff spot, who have a phenomenal defense and really have all the pieces, except for a star quarterback.
Yep.
I believe Tua would have been fine in Miami. But you're not going to pass up the chance to go get a top 5 talent at quarterback in the league right now. And so going to get Deshaun Watson, they become playoff contenders. The Bills are already playoff contenders. The Patriots, already playoff contenders. All 3 of those teams, and then you add the Jets, who only improved this offseason. Yes, they're a young team. They've got a lot of holes. They probably won't win more than 7 games.
You said the Texans?
The Jets. Did I say that?
Oh, the Jets. No, my bad.
No, the Jets. But that just contributes to the division it's going to be a battle to win that division, let alone try to get a wild card spot. Mm-hmm. It's going to be tough. I don't like the idea of Deshaun Watson going to the Dolphins and torching my Patriots twice a season. That being said, I think a Deshaun Watson Miami Dolphins uniform would be one of the coolest jerseys to get.
Absolutely.
If you can stomach the idea of wearing his jersey once his legal situations
and maybe his legal situation ends up being much ado about nothing.
Exactly. Maybe it gets all. You never know.
I would buy a Miami Dolphins Deshaun Watson jersey. Real quickly, I do think Deshaun Watson is the perfect fit for Miami. Last year we saw Tua Tagovailoa struggle to throw the ball deep and struggle to throw the ball outside of the numbers, which is why he relied heavily on his tight ends, particularly Mike Gesicki. So I think with guys like Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker, Grant, I believe, is still there, and Preston Williams, guys that can really stretch the field. I think Will Fuller is there as well.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's why.
So those are guys that can all stretch the field. Yeah. Will Fuller has the Texans connection with Deshaun Watson. Yeah. They need a guy who has a livelier arm like Deshaun Watson. Also, there would be more stability at the quarterback position because Tua's health is something to really worry about.
That's true.
So I think it's really a match made in heaven. Obviously, you would have to hold your breath about the legal concerns. But I think if Deshaun Watson if they're able to acquire him and seek some of that pick insurance, I don't know how that would work out because we've never seen that before. But if that can work to where both the Texans, the NFL, and the Miami Dolphins are happy, I say go for it because that makes your team a Super Bowl contender.